we will discuss about mixture. What is mixture? So in chemistry, a mixture is a material that made up two or more different substances which are physically combined. A mixture is the physical combination of two or more substances in which the identities are retained and are mixed in the form of solution. Okay, suspension and colloid. Next we will discuss about kind of mixture. So the two kind of mixtures are available, homogeneous mixture or heterogeneous mixture. So first we have to discuss about homogeneous mixture. Then what is homogeneous mixture? The homogeneous mixture is a solid, liquid or gaseous mixture that has the same properties of its components throughout any given sample. Conversely, a heterogeneous mixture has components in which proportion vary throughout the sample. An example of homogeneous mixture is air. Okay, so next we will discuss about mixture which do not have uniform composition throughout are called heterogeneous mixture. For example, mixture of soil and sand, mixture of sulfur and iron fillings, and mixture of oil and water, etc. Okay, next we will discuss about a solution. What is solution? A solution is a homogeneous mixture or two or more substances where one substance has dissolved the other. An example of solution is salt water. Okay, colloids are homogeneous mixture where the particles are very enough that they stay suspended. Next we will discuss about alloy. Now what is alloys? So an alloy is a combination of metals or metals combined with one or more other elements. For example, combining the metallic elements gold and copper produces red gold. Gold and silver becomes white gold, and silver combined with copper produce sterling silver. Okay. So the next is about solution. Now what is solution? A solution is a homogeneous mixture, already discussed about this, of two or more substances. Okay, the particles of solute is a solution cannot be seen by a naked eyes. Okay, a solution does not allow beams of light to scatter. The solute from a solution cannot be separated by filtration. It cannot be separated by filtration or mechanically. So now we will discuss about concentration of solution. What is concentration of solution? Now the concentration of solution is the amount of solute present in a given quantity of the solution. The solution having small amount of solute is called dilute solution. The solution having large amount of solute is called concentrated solution. I hope you are getting my point. So the next point is, here are some formulas are given. So mass by mass percentage of a solution equal to mass of solute divided by mass of solution into 100. The next is the mass by volume percentage of a solution equal to mass of solute divided by volume of solution into 100. The third is volume by volume percentage of a mass solution equal to volume of solute divided by volume of solution into 100. So the next point is suspension. Now what is suspension? A suspension, so this is what is suspension? A suspension is a heterogeneous mixture, okay, in which the solute particles do not dissolve but remain suspended through the bulk of the medium. Solution in which the size of particles lies in between those of true solution and suspensions are called colloidal solution or simple solution. Alright. The next point is, now what is the general characteristic of suspension? So the size of particles suspension is large enough to be visible from naked eyes. They are greater than a 1 nanometer, 10 minus 9 meter. Suspension shows Tyndall effect. Now what is Tyndall effect? We will discuss about this. So Tyndall effect, because of their large size of particles, okay, when suspension is left for sometimes particles get scattered in bottom. Okay, so the next point is about colloid. Then what is colloid? A colloid is a heterogeneous mixture whose particles are not as small as solution. Okay, whose particles are not as small as solution, but they are so small that cannot be seen by naked eyes. When a beam of light is passed through a colloid, then the path of the light becomes visible. Okay, for example, milk, smoke, etc. Next we will discuss about Tyndall effect. Now what is Tyndall effect? The Tyndall effect is a scattering of light. As light beam passes through a colloid, the individual suspension particles scatter and reflect light, making a beam visible. As with Rayleigh scattering, blue light is scattered more strongly than red light by the Tyndall effect. Okay, so the next point is, so this is the example of Tyndall light. Okay, Tyndall effect. This is a diagram, and this is also the diagram of the Tyndall effect. Okay, so next point is colloid. So a colloid is a heterogeneous mixture whose particles are not as small as solution, but they are so small that cannot be seen by naked eyes. Already discussed about this. When a beam of light is passes through a colloid, then the path of the light becomes visible, for example, milk, smoke, etc. Okay, the next point is here about a chart. Here a chart about common example of colloid. So you can see, if liquid and liquid, the type of aerosol. Okay, and the example fog, cloud, mist. There is a solid or gas, a type of aerosol. Example smoke, automobile, exhaust. So you can see all points here available. So we will discuss. Now we are going for next. So the next point is separating by separating funnel. So a mixture of two immiscible liquids cannot be separated. Okay, if two immiscible liquids are, so they cannot be separated by using a separating funnel. The mixture separates into two layers according to the densities of the liquid in it. Then the heavier or denser liquid formed the lower layer. Okay, whereas the lighter liquid formed the upper layer. Okay, so the next is evaporation. Now evaporation is the useful method to obtain colored component like dye from blue black ink. Ink is a colloid solution. Okay, a heterogeneous mixture of dye and water. When this mixture is heated, water evaporates and dye is left out. Then we can separate this. Okay, the next here we can see the evaporation method. Okay, the next point is, when the centrifuge machine is switched. Okay, so we are discussing about when the centrifuge machine is switched on, the milk is rotated at a very high speed. Okay, in its container. The centrifugal force act on the milk, and due to this, the milk separates into cream. Okay, skimmed milk. The cream, being lighter, floats over the skimmed milk and can then be removed. Okay, this is the configuration method. So the next point is separating immiscible liquid. If there are some immiscible liquids and how we can separate them. So separating immiscible liquids is done simply using a separating funnel. Here we can see, okay, funnel. The two liquids are put into the funnel and are left for a short time to settle out, and from two layers the tap of the funnel is opened and the bottom liquid is allowed to run. The two liquids are now separate. Okay, so this is also a kind of separation. So now next point is salt dissolved and leaves camphor behind. Salt can be separated from water by evaporation, boiling. If you don't need the camphor, let it evaporate by sublimation, okay, leaving behind salt. Now here we can see separation of camphor and salt by sublimation. The next point is dye in black ink is not is a single color. So no, the dye is black ink is not a single color. We can justify this statement by performing the process of chromatography. Okay, in this process the solution are separated from the color substance. It is mostly used in the forensic labs. Okay, so here we can see the image about this. So the next point is a mixture of two miscible liquids can be separated. So by the process of fractional distillation we can separate this. The separation of two liquids by fractional distillation depend on the different in their boiling point. Fractional distillation is carried out by using a fractional column. Okay, so we can now understand by the diagram. And the next point is to obtain different gases from air. Air can be separated into components by fractional distillation. The below flow diagram shows the step of the process in the separation of component of air to separate the oxygen gas, okay, present in air. All the other gases present in the air should be separated. The next point is, so here we can see the chart, and next we can see this the image also. Okay, next is evaporation water from the copper sulfate solution so as to get a saturated solution. Cover the solution with a filter paper and leave it undistributed at room temperature to cool slowly for a day. You will obtain the crystals of copper sulfate in the changes. ठीक है, the crystallization method is used to purify solids. So there is a image also. And the next point is the changes in which no new substance is formed are called physical change. So here we can discuss about the physical and chemical changes. The physical change is temporary change, chemical change is permanent. Okay, physical change is a reversible and chemical is a irreversible. The next point is very little heat or light energy is usually absorbed and given out of in a physical change, and a lot of heat and light energy absorbed or given out in a chemical change. Next point is the mass of a substance does not alter in a physical change, and the mass of a substance does alter in a chemical change. This is the difference. So the next point is there are two types of pure substances, that are elements and compounds. Example of elements are iron, silver, gold, mercury, and etc. Example of compounds are water, carbon dioxide, methane, vinegar, etc. Okay, the next point is molecule of most elements are made up of only one of atoms of that elements. Oxygen along with nitrogen, hydrogen, and chlorine are made up of two atoms. A compound is a substance formed when two or more elements are chemically joined. Water, salt, and sugar are example of the compounds. So the next point is